Hello again, I am Covenant Ironface with my partner Dwayne Johnsons, and joining us today is Lasting Fate.
Hello.
Today, we are obviously not at home because we're not on our regular couch, but we still went to see our movies like we promised, and we went to go see San Andreas.
Now, as usual, we kind of want to break it down, and we'll go where I always start off, looking at our plot and storyline. San Andreas is, of course, a disaster movie. I'm sure you've all seen it. And it follows this same basic story, Superfather separates from family because of disaster. Superfather goes and saves family, and everyone's happy. Well, not everyone's happy. Some people are squished. But it's the same thing you've heard over and over. So that's kind of a bit of a rehash, but it doesn't take away from the movie. And we have a few good characters that help out with that.
Speaking of the characters, I mean, they're written pretty blandly. Hey, we've got Superfather. Hey, we've got, intelligent guy that nobody listens to. We've got the mother that's divorcing hero Superfather. We've got the useless daughter that needs to be saved. We've got
useless.
Actually,
the daughter actually was pretty good.
The super dad and the daughter helped a lot. The super daughter.
Well, the super dad, of course, he's the hero of the movie. But you've got, rich boyfriend from mom, and you've got, random stranger that wants to get in daughter's pants. It's written pretty blandly. But the actors actually make up for that. Dwayne Johnson is not really a wrestler anymore to me. He is an actor. He does actually do a good job. Having Paul Giovanni being the smart guy that nobody listens to actually makes this a lot better too.
I'm a scientist.
Yeah, pretty much. The actors actually make up this pretty entertaining movie.
Since it was so bland, in a disaster movie, you don't really see sub-characters. You don't really see villains. The villains are the event. The only sub-character there really was is the rich boyfriend he mentioned. He had a very small part, and then he vanished. I don't want to give too much away. He's not a good person, and he does end up getting his comeuppance, and so he fit his role without needing to be there through the whole thing. Otherwise, everyone else is just extras, running and screaming, "I'm hurt! You saved me! How did you know to save me? Buildings are falling on me!"
On top of the good characters, this movie actually looks really put together well. I have a few nitpicks, especially at the beginning, but I know that different movies make different scenes with different companies, and I think that was pretty much just that one company's fault. It's like, hey, you need to put this sequence together, and they didn't really do that. But it got a lot better, and it was pretty well shot. It's like, oh, I'm Super Dad, and it's like really good shot of him being Super Dad, and I can't complain. I really did enjoy this movie.
So we normally, we give our ideas, but since we had a friend join us, let's start with you. What do you think of the movie overall?
Ultimately, they did, to me, I feel like they did a really good job. The CGI was great. It was very expansive. The cinematography, I felt, was put together in a fashion that you don't see typically with disaster movies. I felt like they kept showing the big overall picture, and then here's these little tiny people. That to me was it just shows you how small we are compared to everything else. This is just the typical man versus nature, and man got its ass kicked. But at the same time, they're gonna rebuild.
We will survive.
Yeah.
So you think it's a pretty good movie overall?
I liked it.
What do you have to say on that?
I almost want to compare this to Armageddon. And for those who that know me, that's pretty high praise, because Armageddon is one of my favorite movies of all time, not just disaster movies. So this movie really did entertain me. It's absolutely worth $10 to go see. What about you, Dratno?
I think I'm probably on the lower end here. I do think it is worth it to go see, and it wasn't a bad movie, but we've seen disaster movies a lot, and people filled the same roles that they do beforehand. We already mentioned, like I said, hey, we've got the super dad, the mom, bring the family together. It feels very rehashed compared to a lot of other disaster movies. Now, that's not to say it's bad. It would be worth going to see, in my opinion, but only once. It's not something I would want to go back and see. So, no real good replay value. But if you like your action, you like disaster movies, you like The Rock, go check it out.
All right. See you next time.
What was our next movie on the list? Do you remember? We don't have our list
Nope.
with us, unfortunately, but we will be back with you guys next time.